This is Chris from Deus Ex Machina, and we're talking about Naramata, a game of wine and tourism. In this series of videos, we'll be going over the gameplay of Naramata, but instead of filming those in a basement, we decided to come out to the wineries within the Naramata region itself. For this entry, we find ourselves at Westbert, and I'm here with...
Yaku.
Hey. And we're here to talk about the various actions a player can take in the game. Now, before we proceed, as a disclaimer, everything you are seeing here is part of a game prototype and does not fully represent the final game. Each winery offers between 2 and 3 actions from a selection of 6 possible options. A 7th option, the pit stop, is not indicated on the board. The pit stop, which costs 30 minutes, involves selecting any available space ahead of your vehicle. Place the appropriate lock token and set the vehicle meeple atop it per standard rules. Do not activate that space. Advance your time meeple and gain 3 prestige. The cheese action, which costs 30 minutes, involves sampling cheese, a staple of wine tourism. Most wineries sell cheese either created in-house or imported from one of the dozen cheesemakers across the region. A cheese card lists the type of cheese it is through its image as well as a potential prestige reward. Draw 2 cards from the cheese deck. Select 1 card to keep as a cheese and place it face up next to one of your tourists. Spend 2 prestige to place 1 additional card. Select 1 card from the remaining and gain the prestige listed on it. All drawn cards not on a tourist are discarded to the discard pile. When playing a cheese, that cheese card cannot match any other cards connected to that same tourist. The purchase action, which costs 30 minutes, involves a tourist purchasing several bottles of wine. Each card lists a prestige cost that must be spent to claim that card. When landing on a purchase space, draw 2 purchase cards. Spend 1 prestige if you want to draw 1 additional card. Select any number of drawn cards to keep face up. Pay the required prestige cost of all cards selected. Attach the cards to any applicable tourist. When that tourist is traded in at the end of the day, gain points equal to the number of wine bottles present on the card. The view action, which costs 30 minutes, involves tourists taking photos of the stunning architecture and geography of Okanagan wine country. Roll the supply die. This die is unique with a 1 facing, 3 2s, and 2 3s. Gain a number of matching view tokens equal to the die roll. Now, optionally, you can spend prestige to gain additional tokens, 1 per token, to a maximum total of 4. Meaning if you roll a 3 and gain 3 tokens, you can purchase up to 1 more. If you roll a 1, you can spend up to 3 more prestige to gain up to 3 additional tokens. Place acquired tokens on the view requirement of any available tourists. Satisfied tokens cannot be saved between turns. With the favor action, there are 2 potential benefits. The first is as an action that costs 1 hour, which impresses upon a specific popular winery known as a signature winery, like the one we're at now. Do not place lock tokens on favor spaces. Claim 1 favor meeple and place it alongside your vehicle board. Then claim 2 points. On future days, when you land on the favor space, you can do any combination of actions at that winery with a 30-minute reduction. Each player can only possess 1 meeple from each signature winery. Additionally, if you land on a signature winery, each tourist with a favor requirement gains a favor token. That costs no time. The tasting action, which costs 1 hour, is the most common action where a tourist indulges in various samples of wine offered at a winery. Draw 2 cards from the tasting deck. Select 1 card to keep as a tasting and place it face up next to one of the tourists connected to your vehicle board. Spend 2 prestige if you want to play 1 additional card. Select 1 card from the remaining and gain the prestige award listed on it. All drawn cards not on a tourist are discarded to the tasting discard pile alongside the tasting draw deck. When playing a tasting, that card cannot match any other tasting card connected to that same tourist. The pairing action, which costs 2 hours, involves your tourist sitting down for a lunch and wine pairing. When landing on a pairing space, you gain 1 satisfaction token for each tourist that requires a pairing. Gain an amount of prestige based on when the pairing occurs. The closer to 1 p.m. the player is upon beginning the pairing, the higher the reward. Refer to the time tracker to determine the prestige reward. And those are the actions you can play in Naramata. Salut.